Welcome guys to another episode of The Candy Show. I am your host, Candy, and
I'm Tiana.
see, that's what happens on The Candy Show. You never know what happens.
You never know.
Raw, real, and natural. That is what it is.
Yes.
So, since she just said something, this is my guest, Tien.
Yes.
We are gracious enough to be in your home today. We're in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
And
Hey, baby.
Tien, tell everyone who you are and what do you do?
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Candy for giving me this VIP treatment. I met her in Chicago, and she was so sweet to me, and we had a moment. We actually shed some tears. She's now my soul sister.
Yes,
You know, so, but I am an artist. I'm a singer, songwriter, model, I act. I'm just a creator. You know, if I get an opportunity to present myself in a positive way, I'm open to it. So that's what I do.
Are you an R&B artist?
Okay.
Tell us about who Tien is.
Well, it's a process. It took a process to get to where I am because I started off R&B, hip hop. I was a rapper. I know it's hard to believe. I had some bars, you know. But I come from a really rough background. You know, Chicago. I was in the streets. You know, I played basketball. I was like a hood star, and that was my first love. But music always used to be there. It was just something that I did for fun, and it wasn't a job for me. It was an escape. So once I moved to Atlanta, it was just different. I saw black people just looking fabulous. Like, you go to the grocery store, you know, you see a black woman with this natural hair, and you know, I just saw black people embracing their beauty in such a classy way. So it really, really inspired me to be who I am today, because it opened a gate in my spirit where I was like, wow, I want to be fabulous. I want to represent myself that way. So I started thrifting, which I created a movement called the Vintage Souls Clothing, where I go to different thrift stores and I pick out clothes that speak to my spirit, that represents me. And I love the 70s. So you might catch me in some platforms, you might catch me in big afro, just anything that represents black power. That's me.
And colorful too.
And colorful.
Very colorful.
Because I'm all about love, peace, and soul, like Don Cornelius said. That inspired me. That's like one of my slogans that I always use. That's what I'm about. Let's come together. Let's create something powerful. And I use my creativity in my, not just in my music, but in my clothing. When I walk into a room, you're going to get an experience.
Vintage soul.
Vintage soul.
I like that.
A little bit of the old and a little bit of new.
And definitely some soul.
Timeless.
And definitely some soul.
Yes, ma'am.
So the thing is that you, and I'm gonna get a little personal here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because we're gonna talk about your music.
Mm-hmm.
Your message in your music. We talked about it. And you guys have got to definitely make sure that they follow you, download, etc. But there was something about your music when I heard your music, without even knowing who you were and being introduced to you, I received a message from there. I automatically said, you know what, this young lady has been through something.
Wow.
So tell us about your music, your message, your experience.
Wow, that's deep. You know, we all go through something, and like I said, I'm from Chicago. We all know Chicago, and if you're not middle class or upper class, or if your parents don't have a lot of money, you tend to fall in between this bracket of being poor or unfortunate, where you don't get the right necessities you need to be the best version of yourself as a young person. So that was me. You know, my mom was a single parent, and I never knew my dad, so she was juggling 4 girls in a house, working 2 jobs, so she wasn't able to be there to give us the affection, to take us to the park and talk to us and have those talks. We literally, all my mom kind of really did, she took, I thought we was rich. She the one who got me up on the thrifting. Like, she would give me $10 and we'd go to the thrift store and I would just buy whatever I wanted. So as a kid, you like, this is power. You know, I got my own money and I get to buy stuff for 50 cents, $1, and it's something that I like and it look good. So my mom she planted that in my heart where you could create your own value in what you put into it. And that's why I got the Vintage Souls things from my struggle of not having a lot of money but making nothing out of something. And also I went through a lot of abuse growing up, not unknowingly, because you know when you are a single parent, you don't know, you know, that your issues could sometimes rub off on your kids, you know, because you're angry about something, or come in a house and you just have this energy and it creates a disconnect, you know, with your children. And my mom did the best she could, and I always keep saying it because I don't ever want my mom to think that she didn't do the best, because she did. And I believe I turned out really well, even though I went through those things. And I wouldn't change it for the world, because I wouldn't have Teach Me, which is a song about teaching each other how to love and teaching people how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The Good, Bad, and Ugly is about, yeah, I was abused. Yeah, I was verbally abused. Yes, I almost lost my life in a relationship. But it taught me something, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And now I can put that in a song to minister to someone else to get through. And I have another song called Power. Oh, my baby crying again. No, baby, don't cry. Oh, and this is the perfect example of why I do what I do, because there are so many people out here hurting, and not even to put a color on it, like my people is hurting, but there is a human thing. You know, people go through stuff, you know, and people are afraid to talk about it. And I want to be the face for that. And it's not easy being the face for it, because every day or every night I get out there and perform these records, it's healing me. Like, we healing together. Each time I sing those songs, it turns into another message. It humbles me even more, and it cleanses me even more. It's not, this stuff don't go away, stuff that you've been through, so you have to find a way to release it. And I'm the vessel. God is using me as a vessel for people to come out to hear that, so that I can speak for others, because that's what it's about. So yeah, that's basically my purpose, I feel. And you know, you just never know, because you go through seasons. But I know right now my purpose is to get out a message through me, and allow God to use me. For people like me and my sister over here,
I told you,
who connect on that level of having a mom. And you know, our mom's been through some stuff. Our moms have seen some stuff. Like, we actually have it good, you know, compared to the slavery and, you know, unequal pay. Like, you working your butt off and you're not really getting what you deserve. So, and you're broken. Some of our parents has been molested, raped, and beaten. And then they still put on this beautiful face and this makeup and this fabulousness that they have. I call them superheroes. And they pretend to be happy for us. And it leaks out sometimes, and then we get it. We're like, oh, Lord, what was that? And then it goes on to us, and it's ancestral. It just keeps going and going. But I'm so blessed that me, you, and others can break that.
And see, that's the reason why I know, like I said, I knew it right off the bat that listening to your song, I could just tell you've been through something. Yes. And so when you've been through something, you always want to know. Yeah. You think you're the only one, but it's a relief to know that someone else has been through it. Yeah. So that's why, number one, prior to me even meeting you, I was already an admirer and a fan from the jump. Oh. And so I just was like, oh my gosh. So that's the reason why we have such a connection. Oh. You know, and we talked about a little bit about our parents and etc. Yeah. But the thing, what I wanted to say is that your message was meant for a reason. It happened for a reason. You know, what you went through happened for a reason. And now is your time. Now is your season. And you're here. You're going to help everyone else who's listening to that. And that's pretty much what we saw when we met in Chicago. You had several people coming up to you. Yes. And tell them.
It was very powerful. I had a young lady that came up to me. And, you know, sometimes when you become not to offend anybody, when you become a woke person, you know, you tend to just cater to black people. You know what I'm saying? But the deeper that I learn myself, it's a soul thing. You get what I'm saying? It's all about the soul, no matter what color you are. And this Asian young lady, I think she was Asian Japanese, and she came up to me on my way out and she grabbed me and she said, I'm actually in an abusive relationship and I'm leaving. She said, I'm gonna leave because that's not, I mean, you touched me. And when I saw that, it really changed my outlook on, like, I'm fighting for something even bigger. I'm fighting for just humanity to come back and people to love on each other, and especially female sisters. We're all sisters, you know, even though my first priority is my people, but at the end of the day, that's not my goal to make people feel left out. It's a mother, sister, woman thing that we have to heal. And healing together is how we gonna do it. You know, we can't do it by ourselves.
And in your songs, ain't no again, power. Your songs have a great message, and that's the thing about it. You have to be aware as an artist that you're going to impact someone's life. What you sing, what you say is going to be impactful for somebody, and it's going to help someone. So let's go back to Writing Sessions America.
Yeah.
Just tell us briefly about that program and Kevin.
Yes. Well, Writing Sessions been around for at least maybe 7 to 10 years. Kevin Shine, he's a Grammy nominated A&R. He's the person behind everything that puts everybody in the room to make a production.
Yes.
The
all those people.
Yeah, he's the
pieces of the puzzles together.
I call him the Mr. Miyagi of music. Like, he knows how to put the right people in the room, and he's very spiritual. Like, I mean, he's very God sent. Like, anybody who know of him, I definitely feel like you should connect with him and just pick his brain, because he's humble. He gives away knowledge and information. And Writing Sessions was life changing for me when I finally gave in to the program, because it's not easy. Like, when you come from doing your own thing, and I come from a hustling life, I've sold drugs, I've sold CDs. Like, I just had this hustle mentality that I'm gonna get it no matter where I get it from. But now I'm in a place where you can manifest what you want, and it doesn't have to come from a negative space. You know, and Writing Sessions has proved that to me, that if you just come into a situation open-minded and humble, and always never feel like you can't stop learning anything. I don't care how dope you are, you gotta always be polishing your art. And Writing Sessions is that place where you can come and vent and be a human being again, and love and be in touch with who you are, and screw that out in your music.
And the thing about it is that when they had all the different people from different places coming together and wanting to accomplish one goal, and one goal in my mind was to learn, to improve.
Yes.
How do I perfect my craft? How do I continue to on the path of what I'm supposed to be doing in the business?
Exactly.
And they help you learn the business side of it, not just say, hey, I'm an artist, let me get on the stage.
Exactly.
They help you learn the business. They're grooming.
Yes.
In the sense. And so you're not only just, like I said, a participant, but you're also the poster child, shall I say.
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't go into it that way. I just came into it as a student, you know, who was lost, you know, who was out here messing with the wrong people and reaching for the wrong goals, which was to give away my master to another master, which was the people, what Kevin says, the people who want to take advantage of artists who just don't know, who's ignorant to the business part, and I was that person, you know. So it basically helped me, and I'm just grateful. I'm just so grateful that I found Writing Sessions, and for the program chose me. That's the beautiful thing, when you do what you're supposed to do, and you just be humble, and you challenge yourself, and people are watching you. Like, you have this community of dope people in this room, and they're like, wow, she's doing the same thing I'm doing, and she's, you know, talking and singing, and she's doing all these great things. I'm being a role model for those people, and not unknowingly being someone who people want to be like. And I basically kept showing up. I quit the program about 6 times because it rubbed my ego. I wasn't used to being denied, saying, oh, that's cool, but you could do better. I wasn't used to that. I was used to, oh my God, you're incredible. You're so cute. Oh my God. I was on my high horse. I was feeling good.
So you don't need yes ma'am.
You don't need no yes men. It's okay to have a few, but you need a team of people that you can go to give you a real.
And we're gonna give you that information too later on
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And tell us about what's going on with your current projects. What's going on with that?
Okay.
And let's talk about Power and
Yeah.
those songs that you have. I love them.
Oh.
Not enough of them, so I don't remember all the titles, but Power just sticks to me.
Oh.
And especially after watching you perform, it's like, oh my gosh.
Thank you. Well, those songs that you hear and you love actually came from writing sessions. Like Kevin orchestrated, like I said, the groups, and those songs came out of those groups. It was so powerful, because you got together and you were on one accord with people with the same aspiration and energy. And it was very organic, and that song came. And right now, I'm cataloging.
Okay.
I'm finding myself. I'm not rushing the process, because you have to evolve. You have to find what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes time. And this is the time. The 2 years I've been with the organization, these songs are not just overnight. These are 2-3 years of just living with my records and learning what it really means and breaking down those barriers, those emotional walls that we put up because we've been burned by the industry or by people who just don't really have your best interest. So I'm in that process right now. Those songs that you hear is me finding my ways and finding myself and learning what my stories stand for and who they connect with. So that's what we're working on. We're actually working on a content tour. It's called 10's Vintage Souls Lifestyle Tour. And we're working on it. It's not solidified, so I don't have any dates or anything.
Okay.
But what we're manifesting is that it's not just going to be a regular tour. We're going on a lifestyle tour. I'm basically going to be sharing, because I'm a vegan. I'm going to be partnering with a few restaurants in each city, and I'm going to meet with some of my fans, and we're going to talk about health and, how it helps you in your everyday life, and how it creates and opens up another, realm for you to be the best version of yourself. We're going to be meeting with single parent mothers, with organizations, nonprofits, with Teach Me. I'm going to be able to sing to them and touch them so they can come to the show and really, make this a power move, where it's not just about the music, it's about healing, it's about change. And even with the Good, Bad, and Ugly, I'm going to have an organization that does for women who's been abused, domestic violence, where I'll be able to partner with a nonprofit and they can tour with us. So when I do the song, when a young lady comes up to me and it's like, oh my God, I'm in this relationship and I'm afraid, there will be someone that's there that can help them. It's not just me singing and they're in the moment and they're just having these emotions. They can actually, now that I open them up, there's someone here that can really take advantage of that vulnerability at that moment and say, we have help for you. We can help you. Come over here. Come sign up for this program. We're going to, it really just help people and not just talk about it. Artists nowadays, you talk about it and you say it in your music. I see you posting. But what are you doing? Are you walking the walk? And I'm waking up to that. I don't want to just talk. I want to walk in what I say. And doing that is making my music bigger than just being an entertainer, but being a healer, being a motivator, being an activist for my community, and being a voice.
And you know what? I can't remember if I shared with you or not, but again, knowing I was able to connect, just not even knowing who you were, but through your music, and I knew that you had been through something. The reason why is because I am also a survivor of domestic violence.
Yeah.
So it's something that it's in me. You know,
Yeah.
when you go through life
Yeah.
altering
Yes.
situations, those things will never leave you.
Yeah.
I've been on both sides.
It's a part of you, and you have to determine which side you're gonna leave it on. You're gonna be negative with it, or you're gonna hold it and look at it as a triumph that I made it out. Like, this is a part of me. I'm never gonna forget this because I can't, because it made me who I am today. So that's all I want to do. I want people like us to not feel sorry for ourselves, because as Black women, we tend to do that. We beat ourselves up because we're told to be so strong, and it's embarrassing. That's why a lot of adults hold in domestic violence or abuse, sexual abuse, because in our culture, it's weakness, for you to be vulnerable and really speak about your truth. And I want to change that. I want people to know that that's not right. No child or no woman should be forced to do something that they don't want to do. And it's traumatizing.
And that's the thing too. It's also about, once you go through these life altering situations, what are you doing to heal? What are you doing to help others? Are you becoming an advocate of that particular situation? And that's, for me personally, is why I volunteer home and serve meals at the Women's and Children's Mission at home.
Beautiful.
Was when it was a time where I was in that situation, prideful, didn't want to reach out, didn't want to ask anybody.
People in your business.
Exactly. And so those services were around.
Yeah.
But so it's like, okay, now God brought me through these. How can I become an advocate? How can I help others? And we help different people different ways.
Yeah.
You know, so that was one of the ways that I give back. But that's the reason why I said I was able to connect with you prior to even meeting with you, because I've been through that. Wow. And so it just, I like being in a situation with the women and children and let them know, and you have support, basically. You have support. Yeah. So you talked about you're going to go on tour, and right now you just gathering all the information. Where can they hear Power, Good, Bad, and Ugly? Tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Well, currently, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of the music that you're gonna hear is not out. So right now we're doing content. We're testing our music. We're going back to the olden days, where you don't really hear the music on the radio yet until maybe the artist is promoted or tour. They're on a promotional tour where they're testing. It's test marketing. We're test marketing the music. We're figuring out what we have and where we can take it and who we can give it to. We really want to make a statement. We don't want to just throw music out because it sounds good. We want it to have a purpose. We want it to stand on its own. And the way to do that, you have to allow it to draw its own energy. And that's what this tour is about. And I'm not in the right. I was, it's pressure when you're performing. You got people like Candy, like, girl,
how can I get that song?
But I'm blessed to have a team that has a vision, and we both agree on the vision. So I never really get sidetracked. I might feel some kind of way as an artist because you want people to hear, but I know that I'm just not in the making of just throwing anything out, especially if this is the first representation of who I am. Because nowadays the internet is so powerful. You don't get to take it back. Like, once people see you as that,
it's out there.
That's what you are. And it's sad, but that's the reality. So in that reality, I'm protecting myself as an artist and as a human being, that this is truly who I am. And if once I get comfortable with that and confident through doing my tours, and testing out my music and learning and messing up and, being able to fix it and have a team and build through that team, I think I'm going to be okay, especially being independent. I decided to go independent and start writing sessions, help me understand my IP, which is your intellectual property, to own your own stuff and be able to have control of it and not be forced to be in a system that just pushes you to just be a slave to what you love. And once it becomes a job, it takes away that organic feel that you the rush that you get for just doing it for the love of it. So I'm excited about that. It was a little scary because, you know, you want that engine behind you. And I think, you know, I believe if God has something for you, it'll come in a way that it fits in what you're already doing. So I'm not opposed to partnering with major companies that's going to kind of catapult me to bigger platforms, because you don't ever want to limit yourself. It just has to make sense. It has to coordinate with my vision, and if it does that, then we can work. We can do business. So don't get it twisted, y'all. It's okay.
We can't hear.
It's okay to partner with the industry, and because there's so many other realms, like overseas, different things that you don't really have access to unless you partner with someone who kind of already have it, because that's just the way it's set up, you know. So, but you know, just never know. We got some good stuff coming.
You know what? That Kevin.
Isn't he incredible?
Oh my goodness.
He's incredible.
I'm gonna tell him about that, because I want the ball. But then, you know what? We all gonna have to wait.
It's coming though, and when it comes, I promise you guys that it's gonna be worth the wait. It's gonna be worth the wait. It's gonna sound good. It's gonna feel good. It's gonna have an experience with it, and that's what music is about, giving you an experience.
Tell me one thing about an artist that you admire. Tell us who he or she is.
Wow. It's funny because unfortunately I don't really admire one artist. I'm one of those people that pick and pull from different artists. I can definitely name like 3 artists that really inspire me, that really touch me, like Aretha Franklin. I believe I connect with her because she has this gospel feel to her music where she's able to do any genre. It's not a genre for her. It's all about the spirit. And just listening to her as a kid, she just gave me chills. Like, she gave me a feeling. She gives me a feeling. Even her music, rest in peace, you know, to the queen. But even now, she's not even here, but her spirit is still here in the music. So I take that, I believe I connect with that, with her. I love me some James Brown.
Who doesn't?
You know, James Brown is the creator. Like, the reason why I really love him, and I'm really getting more in tune with him with the documentaries that they're putting out, which I just saw on Netflix. It really inspired me because he wasn't just a singer. He was an activist. You know, he started off, he the one started the afros, you know, with the relaxer. And it showed me how powerful, you know, he was. When you're an artist and you do something, it can impact a whole group of people, you know. So that really woke me up to the responsibility of my image and making sure that I'm presenting myself in a way that caters to the people that's looking at me. And then he's funky, and he just created his own vibe. I'm all about like creating your own thing. Like, everybody has something to offer, and it's very detrimental that you lock into who you are, because there's somebody, there's a little girl or there's an artist that's waiting on you to just lock into who you are, because you're going to connect with that person, because that's how God created us, different and unique. One more artist that I really love would be Whitney Houston. You know, I really love how Whitney had mastered vocally every voice, head voice, chest voice. Like, she's incredible. She was incredible. And I think she represented the perfect vocal artist. She was the blueprint for artists like me who like to sing, where she didn't have to be screaming and yelling. She just really finessed the record, and she was able to take a record that someone wrote and make it her own. And I thought that was beautiful, and that was a gift, and her presence is very missed right now, you know. So those artists is who I pull from. And recently, Nipsey Hussle, someone that I didn't really know, but he touched me. And it's crazy that someone have to pass away and make a sacrifice for us to really see, you know, when it comes to the media. And I'm kind of happy I'm taking the good out of the situation, because now I've elevated in 3 days just off of the knowledge of what he was doing for his community, and it made me look like, damn, what am I doing? I gotta, you know, he's making some real moves, you know, some changes. So he's somebody that I'm inspired by at this moment, you know, that's current.
Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, that was something I was about to ask you. Was everybody you just spoke on or legends
Yeah.
in
That's
the
the goal.
industry?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And so, tell everyone how they can. Well, if we can't hear any music.
Well,
how can we follow you?
Well, you can actually watch my live performances on Instagram, and everything is 10, the number 10, TEN music page. I actually have my custom website. Y'all, please go check it out. I need some traffic, you know. I need y'all to, because I'm all about ownership. I'm all about, you know, creating your own platforms, and I invested in it, and I would love for you guys to experience it. I have videos, I have pictures, and if you scroll to the bottom, put your email in there, and I'll get my team, and I personally send out messages to uplift you and send you videos of my performances to people in different cities who can't make it to my shows, and keep you tuned with my movement and what I'm doing. So yeah, everything is tenmusicpage.com. Just put that in Google, 10 is gonna pop up. Yes.
So, is there anything else you want to let them know that we haven't touched on?
I just want to let everyone know that please keep on pushing, you know, keep believing in who you are. Life is short, you know, so make the best of what you have, even if it's not what you think you deserve, but you can manifest that. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't accomplish what your heart desires. And you have to have a spiritual foundation. You have to find what works for you. You know, step out of the system, step out of the program, and do you. Figure out who you are, and once you start loving yourself and tapping into who you are, so many beautiful things are gonna just appear. You know, it's like magic, you know, and it's that easy, you know, but it takes time. So connect with artists and connect with people like Candy, who have platforms for artists like me, so that you can be filled. You have to fill your soul with positive things. You can't be watching a whole bunch of negative things, and you just gotta fill yourself up, and you have to be positive in any way that you can, any form. So that's all I want to say. I want to thank Candy for having me. I want to give a shout out to the dreamers, to the vintage souls who enjoy real music and who's touching the souls out there, and the artists that are actually doing something for the community. I love y'all. I stand with you, and this is our time. And Candy, thank you. Safe travels for coming to Atlanta to interview me in my home.
Yes, and thank you for having us again.
Yes, girl. And next time you come, take you to some vegan restaurant. I'm ready to cook you some of my vintage soul happy.
Okay, so that's what I want.
Yes, girl.
Some good home cooking right there.
Yes. And I'm a vegan. Y'all forgot to mention that.
You did.
I am a vegan. So yes, next time we're gonna speak a little bit more on that. But I love you.
To let
give me your hands.
Okay.
I love you. You are amazing, and just keep working hard. I believe in you. You are my sister. You are my soul sister. Anytime you need to talk, vent, just give me a call. And I love you. Keep doing what you do. We support you. And I thank you so much. You are incredible. You are. Aw, she always be trying to make me cry. I love you. So I'm gonna take over for Candy. She's having a moment, and on that we will be talking to you. I'm just kidding.
no, you're fine. Okay, so I'm actually gonna have you close out.
Okay.
But I do again want to thank my extra special guest, Tien. Oh my goodness. This is the raw. This is the real. This is what happens when you tune into the Candy Show. We are not fake. We are all about
Realness.
Thank you. Natural.
Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna let Tien take us out, guys. Make sure you just stay continued and lock in on the Candy Show. We have some great upcoming things in the works in the future. So Tien, can you please take us out?
All right. Well, I'm gonna need y'all to stay fly, stay funky, and always give